Hello again, puzzling YouTubians, and we're back. But today's something a little bit different. Now, if you watched the first Puzzle Completions Gang episode, the actual first person pulled out of the Pyrex dish was a lady from the USA called Laurel McHargue, and along with her friend Nadine Collier, have written a book all about her experience of doing the jigsaw puzzle and the interviews to follow. Also, today, after the interview, is a competition. Of course, Nadine and Laurel have put up 2 copies of the book to win. So it'll be a visual question, so keep your eyes peeled, and it'll be to do with the map that's behind me during the interview. Not these 2, but it'll be the world map. Something about it won't be quite right. And that's what the question will be. So, see you at the other side, and as ever, please enjoy. Hello, Laurel. Hello, Nadine.
Hi, Mark.
Hello there. Congratulations on the release of this new book. How are you both doing?
Great.
Doing great. Excited about everything right now.
Yeah.
Lovely. Very good. Right, so if anybody watched the Puzzle Completions Gang, the first one ever, you'll have seen that Laurel was the first person ever picked out of the lovely Pyrex bowl. Yeah, and she lives in Colorado, which I found eventually, which is here, this flag. Now, Nadine lives, I believe, in Michigan.
Yes.
Obviously, both in the USA. So my first question would be, how did you meet?
Oh my goodness. It's a long story that I'll make short. So my husband was in the Army and we were stationed at West Point, New York. And then they sent us as a family to Lima, Ohio. And I didn't have any friends in Lima. And I was very, very sad. And one day my husband came home and he said, I work with this guy. His name's John. And he has a wife and they have 2 kids about the same age as our kids. Would you like to have them over for dinner? And before he even said dinner, I said yes. And this lovely family over to our home for dinner. And I don't know how you felt Nadine, but I felt immediately like we were family.
Yes.
Meeting.
Yes, it was like meeting a long lost sister.
And so, yeah, I spent a couple years there in Lima, and then we moved again. The Army moved again, but we kept our friendship going. We stayed in touch, and she ended up moving to Michigan. We ended up in Salida, Colorado, and we have remained fast friends. And, you know, when you have a friend like Nadine, when things click like that, those are the friends that you keep.
Lovely. Excellent. Lovely. Now, I would say that this book is pretty unique, but what was the inspiration for it?
Well, I have been puzzling for years, and last summer when I visited Laurel, she bought a couple puzzles for us to do while I was out there because she knows I enjoy doing that. We ended up completing like a 500-piece puzzle, and it was lots of fun. And she also had one that was 2,000 pieces, and it was like, I could stay another week and we could do that. But she said, well, I'll save it for next year. But of course, in the meantime, we had this wonderful pandemic, and she decided, okay, I'm going to get out the puzzle and do it myself. And I thought, ooh, I want to do it with you. But but I wished her well. So, and during those conversations over the weeks, as she's completing this puzzle and expressing frustration about different things, we started realizing that we were both going through a lot of the same kinds of things and learning some little life lessons. And that conversation sparked this book. And I had put ideas down on paper. Well, since I started doing puzzles, I would think of little things and start making out ideas. And so, yeah, I shared those with Laurel, and she added some to that. And I said, you should write this book. And she said,
I said, oh, Nadine, I don't know that I will live long enough to write all the ideas I have in my head. But yes, she said you should write this book about, which she's done before, by the way, because she is an idea generator extraordinaire. She comes up with ideas. But there was something about this idea, even though when she first said it, you should write this book about, and I'm like, I already crossed it off. When she started talking about it, I realized that it would really be a fun book to write from my perspective. And, again, it was, you should write this book. So I decided, well, I'll do it if you will guide me along the way, because, I'm the writer, you have the counseling degree. So if you could help me with formatting the chapters and maybe provide some information at the end of each chapter, then I think I could do this. And then it turned into, I think we should do this, because it was Nadine's idea. So I finally said yes to one of her ideas, and yeah, that was the inspiration for it.
So that sounds very intriguing. So a little bit more detail, how would you describe this book to potential readers?
I would describe it as a little bit of self-help, a lot of humor, life lessons, some fun stories, something to think about. It's 10 lessons from a jigsaw puzzle, right? And actually, spoiler alert, you're going to get more than 10 lessons, but we have chapters on patience and time and walking away from situations, and the idea of the puzzle, are we the sum of our parts, the little things in life, asking for help if we can do that at all, looking at things from different perspectives, looking below the surface on things, and finally celebrating. And of course, each of these chapters is written from my experience with applying what I'm doing with the puzzle to a bigger life lesson. And then, of course, Nadine, you talk about your part.
yeah. And so then I sort of build on what Laurel has done with her. She'll do different anecdotes and things, and things that she's also learned when talking to other people about the puzzle and her experiences and so forth. And then I build on that with some counseling tools and some reflective questions that people can ask themselves as they're going through this, so they can really start to apply some of those lessons to their lives as well.
Very good. So obviously, Laurel, you are an author. Nadine, you're a counsellor. But
Yes.
why do you both puzzle?
Well, I puzzle because it's a real stress reliever for me. It's a time that I can just let go of everything else, and I focus on just the pieces, and looking at the colors, and just really getting a lot of enjoyment from putting things together. And it's really quite satisfying, and I feel it's like, for me, I can see little accomplishments each day, where in my counseling career, I don't always see the progress. It might happen years later for a client, and I might not realize that progress with them. But with the puzzle, as I'm putting it together, of course, I see progress, and it's sort of that instant kind of gratification, I guess. So that's another plus for me. Laurel?
Yeah, so I say in the book, I never considered myself a puzzler, and I haven't considered myself a puzzler, but doing that first, and I call it monster puzzle, but my first 2,000-piece puzzle, which was really inspired by the fact that, you know, there's a pandemic, and I was in quarantine after traveling to visit my sister in California, and so it was a new challenge. So for me, puzzling is a new challenge, and every puzzle will bring a new challenge for you. And I didn't know that I'd love it. And I ended up getting hooked. How can you not get hooked when out of 2,000 pieces, all of a sudden you find that right one that goes to this piece and you click it. And again, like Nadine mentioned, that satisfaction of, oh, I have accomplished something here. Even though it might seem frivolous, it's something, and all the little things that come together to build something beautiful. And ultimately, you know, my monster puzzle was gorgeous, 2,000-piece puzzle. And my husband even said, why don't you leave that on the table? Because it's really pretty to look at. So I'm hooked now, and I'm just starting to explore the world of puzzles. And again, Mark, that's how I found you and what you do with your art with the puzzles and the time-lapse photography going with the music. And there are people doing 3-dimensional puzzles and creating their own puzzles from photographs, like Nadine's daughter Sarah. She created what my husband calls a friendship puzzle based on a previous trip that they visited with me, and it was just this beautiful, what was it, I think 1,014 pieces.
Yeah.
So it's fun. You can get into the zen of it. You can lose yourself. Some people, I think, listen to audiobooks while they puzzle, which I can't believe I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to do that. So, puzzle now.
It might be a good idea for people to listen to relaxing music while watching a time-lapse video, but who am I to say? Who am I to say? Anyway.
or read a book.
So what have you actually learned from working together on this project? Maybe where can people purchase a copy of the book and maybe find out more about you two guys?
Well, let's see. What did I learn from doing this, other than the fact that I actually am hooked on doing puzzles now? I learned working with Nadine that although she's a little bit country and I'm a little bit rock and roll, we can still make beautiful books together and puzzles together. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about collaboration. I'm not a big group project kind of person, and so this is the only group project I've ever done in my life that I absolutely loved.
Aw, thanks, Laurel. I enjoyed doing this with you as well. You know, I've learned that I need to just sort of be open to the process, be open to the ideas of others, and be more confident in myself, which you've told me over and over again during this process. So yeah, I've learned a lot, and I've appreciated the opportunity. So looking forward to our next one.
Right. I mean, it's been a blast. And as you mentioned, you know, being open to ideas, you know, Nadine, you didn't agree with every single decision I made. What I would include in there, and there are a couple funny things that she wasn't quite so sure of. I'm not gonna, no spoiler alerts, but there are things that when I wrote, I laughed. So I decided I had to keep them in there. And are you wearing your puzzle piece, Nadine?
I am.
She bought 3 pieces, each with our initial in it, and I have one. Her daughter has one, and Nadine has one, and the 3 together make a heart. So that was really special. And if you want to find us, Mark, I think I sent you some links. You can put those in your show notes if you'd like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, that.
The book. Back to the book. The book is It drops on Kindle as an ebook on Labor Day here in the United States. 7th of September.
Yes.
I think so. September. You can pre-order it now, and the paper book also will be out. I wanted to have a proof copy of it, but Amazon's a little bit slow right now. So,
Well, that all sounds very intriguing and an excellent read. So I think we'll wrap things up there. But what I'll say is that it just sounds really, really entertaining. What I'll do is I'll also put a link to purchase a copy of the book in the description, along with details for yourselves. And
Great.
I think that pretty much wraps it up. So if I press the right button here, it will be... Indeed, it's competition time. I hope you enjoyed the interview, and there'll be a link in the description of this episode if you'd like to purchase a copy off Amazon. But if you'd also like to win a copy, Laurel and Nadine have put up 2 copies available to win. So here we go. So your answer has to be a YouTube comment. During the interview, I had a map of the world. It was the Puzzle Completions Gang map behind me, but something about it wasn't quite right. If you watched the first episode of the Puzzle Completions Gang, again, I'll put a link in the description, and at the end, when YouTube put up its links to other things to subscribe or other episodes, that episode will be won. But the map wasn't quite right. And what I want to know is what was not right about it, because one of the pins wasn't right. There should only be 3 pins, and you'll see there were 4. Which country was the incorrect pin located in? And please, as I say, the answers have to be a YouTube comment. The closing date will be the 11th of September, so 7 days from the opening of this YouTube episode. And if you're not sure, check back to the video, to the interview, to check where that pin was located. And good luck to everybody. And we will pull the draw out during the second Puzzle Completions Gang episode. So, I hope you enjoyed the interview, and as always, bye-bye, and hope you did enjoy.